Black Jack. It was Friday the 13th when I went to the party, officer. I told the police when they questioned me. Okay, tell me everything, he answered. I had been invited to this party at the Monte Carlo casino, but I didn't know the real reason for the party, or what was being celebrated, but I decided to go anyway. I drove from my hotel for about 10 minutes to get to the casino. As soon as I arrived, I met a friend I hadn't heard from a long time, and he told me that we were celebrating the signing of a Godfather will. Already at the point I was a little scared, but then everything went on happily. There was a moment of silence in which the Godfather, before signing, wanted to thank all the people closest to him, his wife, his best friend, and his son, all present at the party. When he was about to sign, the lights went out for about 10 seconds, and there was a moment of panic and fear. As soon as the lights came back on, the Godfather was dead, and he had two cards on his chest, an ace and a jack. Everyone was shocked and trying to figure out who killed him. Then the police arrived and began the investigation to find out who was the Black Jack. That's all I know, officer. Okay, thanks for your help. We will find the killer and will punish him. It's been 10 years, and nobody ever thought that the Black Jack was me.
It was a cold November. I was in the laboratory just working from a project. I'm an engineer working on a new satellite for NASA. I didn't know why they needed that satellite. In fact, I thought that they needed it for atmospherical matters or something like that, but after seeing the project, I was a bit worried about it. I had to build an ion cannon, one of the most lethal weapons ever existed on Earth. For this project, I had to be protected by two FBI agents the whole time, and I couldn't leave the laboratory if not for really important matters. I was really near to finish the cannon when I realized that the two agents disappeared. After a while, I decided to search for them, because it was really strange. They have never been away for so long. I was worried for them and for me. When I went to the other room, someone knocked me out. After a while, I woke up in a small room with only a very weak light. After I gained consciousness, I saw someone in a corner of the room that was staring at me. After a few minutes, he started talking to me as he saw that I couldn't understand what he was saying. He told me that he was from the Chinese Special Forces, and that I was arrested for trying to build a weapon that could destroy entire cities. Sadly, I found out that the USA were producing a lot of other weapons like mine just to declare war to China. So I explained that I didn't know the reason of the state to build that cannon, and that if I knew, I wouldn't have built it. The investigator told me that I could work for the Chinese government as a spy and sabotage the production of other cannons like that if I wanted. And I said yes. My operation is called the John Cena Plan, and since today I destroyed over 30 cannons to prevent a third world war.
John woke up to the sound of thunderstorm. He jumped out of bed and made his way in the living room while the storm was getting stronger. He calmly made his breakfast while watching the waves crashing in the seaside. The wind was screaming outside. John knew they were coming and he quickly woke up his crewmate, Andrew, that was younger and inexperienced, but he had the will and strength to keep up. John turned on the lighthouse light, and all the creatures were blinded by the strong light of the lighthouse, and briefly retreated in the sea. 1 month before, Andrew woke up in his cabin to the annoying sound of the bell. The captain came in his room, telling him that they reached the destination and that he would meet the lighthouse operator soon. He came down the ship. As soon as he put foot in the sand, the ship quickly turned away and sailed. Meanwhile, he kept walking until he reached an old and rusty lighthouse, where he got welcomed by an old man that he called himself John. John told his story. He was there for more than 10 years operating the lighthouse. As Andrew explored the interior of the place, he found strange things and an old rusty rifle and also a suspicious notebook. That night, the wind was howling outside, and the waves were enormous. As John was getting on top of the lighthouse with the rifle on his back, he told Andrew to turn on the lighthouse. As soon as he switched the light on, he saw the unimaginable. Creatures similar to humans but with gills, claws, and very shiny yellow eyes. He backed away from the window, panicking, seeing the creatures rapidly approaching the lighthouse and climbing it. He heard a shot from a rifle and soon another. Another and another, seeing the creatures getting hit and dying immediately. And more died as he was climbing up the wooden stair to the lighthouse. He saw John, armed with a rifle, shooting the creatures with perfect aim. John noticed Andrew and immediately handed him a long knife, ordering to repel the creatures coming from behind. They survived the night, with John shooting, Andrew bravely slicing at the creatures, and the light of the lighthouse giving some problems at the creatures. 1 month after, the creatures, as always, came attacking the lighthouse in the night, and of course, John and Andrew were ready to repel them. But this night was different. The creatures were more organized and aggressive, and soon were able to break through the defenses, and the two were forced to retreat in the lighthouse. Andrew made it back, but John was heavily injured with a wound in his back. John was dying and the sun was rising as the creatures retreated. John gave his last breath, giving the rifle to Andrew. 10 years passed, and Andrew every night defended against the unlimited sword of creatures. One day he saw a ship coming close to the shore and left, leaving a young boy hid into the lighthouse, waiting to take Andrew's place, as he did.